Hello, today I am going to show you how to get a foiled sentiment with no heat. The foil that I used on this die cut is a foil that you normally use in a laminator type machine. There's multiple companies that make foil. This is Pink and Maine. Gina K, I have a few of hers. Deco foil, that's a Brutus Monroe pattern. So any of the foils that work with a laminating type machine is what you need. And this is the card that I have made already using this Grateful die cut. This one here. And I will be using the thank you one today for this video from Photo Play. So, to get started, I have already cut, since I'm going to be using this pink foil today, I just am using a close to the same color cardstock, and you need a type of adhesive sheet. This is obviously scrapbook.com's double-sided adhesive sheets. There's multiple companies that have double-sided sticker paper like this, so any one would work. Some of them are a little thicker than others, but I don't think it really matters. So this has a liner. If I can get into it, I'm going to peel the liner, whichever one comes off first. All right. So peel your liner back a little bit, and I'm going to stick it right onto this piece of cardstock. And then I'm just going to peel this back instead of doing it all at once. This is just easier for me. And I'm going to burnish that down really well. And I'm going to keep that piece of paper. So I'm really going to get that burnished down onto the cardstock. All right, that's probably good. So our adhesive now is on this paper, so when this gets peeled back, we'll have adhesive here. So I'm going to die cut now this thank you sentiment, and I'm just going to use my sidekick. Actually, I'm going to cut, I got a little piece of sticky right there of that paper. Just going to cut that off so I don't get adhesive where I don't want it. Get it off my scissors. All right, so I'm using my sidekick because it's small. I don't have to get my big die cut machine out. And I'm using the green plates because this is a wafer thin die. So you want your adhesive face up, because when you put your words down here, they're going to die cut the correct way. If you put your paper this way, your words are going to be backwards. So put your adhesive face up, and then go to the kitchen and get a piece of wax paper. This one's a little too big, so I'm going to just trim that off. because the wax paper is going to help release the adhesive sheet from your die. I have die cut it just like this, and sometimes when it gets you pull it out of the die, this release paper will come off, and then it's just a mess. Don't ask me how I know that. All right, so adhesive side up, piece of waxed paper, and your dies. This one just particularly has 2. You can use any sentiments that you want. And then the clear plate on top. And run that through. You can use whatever die cut machine you have. This one's small. I can get it in my shot of my camera. All right, so get rid of these and the dies, and it looks like it cut through that. I'm hoping. Now, some of your wax paper may still be stuck onto your die cut. That's fine. I need my pokey tool, which has falling down somewhere. I don't know. It fell on the floor, so I'm just going to use this. I like to use some kind of tool to release that out of there. So just get your sentiment off of the rest of the cardstock and poke out your holes in any of your letters. Don't need that. Good. Get rid of the scraps. Let's get rid of that. All right, so now we have our sentiment, and I'm going to cut a piece of foil, and it doesn't have to be very wide. I am going to put that back through my die cut machine just for the pressure, so I'm just going to cut it the width of my plate. If you're not using this, if you're not using a sidekick, you just, however big a piece of foil that you need. That's probably too, I'll trim it down. However big of a piece of foil you need. If you're using a bigger die cut machine, just as long as your sentiment, your dies are going to fit back on there. All right. So now we can take off the release paper. Now on top of mine is still the waxed paper. We can get rid of that. This one's coming off with the release paper. And it's gonna, there's my pokey tool. Now it's gonna stick to you, or whatever it is that you have, whatever you're using. The adhesive is on this side now. So, let me release this one. There. All right, so I'm going to take my cutting pad and a piece of scrap paper. Might be wide enough. Piece of scrap paper. And I am going to lay these sentiments down. I'm going to try to get them off. That your sticker paper is going to be pretty sticky, which is good. That's what we want. And if you can, there we go. And the next one. And it doesn't matter that these are kind of wonky right now. That's what they do that even if you're not using sticker paper. You just don't want them touching each other. And you might have to fuss with it some to get it off. All right, so I think since I can't release that one's stuck on to me pretty good. Now I have them both. All right. Let's try this. I got it released. Well, it's a lot easier when you're not filming, believe me. The other one I didn't have to do this much fussing with. I'm just trying to not get it to touch anything else, because this is a big giant sticker. All right, I'm just going to leave that stuck onto my fingernail for a moment. And you want your foil paper. It has a dull side and a shiny side. You want your shiny side up, and you want to lay that right on top. So as long as you cover all of that, I'm going to get that off my finger now. Yay! And push down your foil. Now you can take that off of the, there. You can burnish it a little. You can take the release paper that was on that. Use your finger. I'm just going to run it back through the die cut machine just to give it pressure. It's a little bit too wide. I don't want that to wrinkle up in my machine. It doesn't matter if it's longer, as long as it's the width-wise is good. And I'm going to use this also. It's not quite as long, but why not? Because we don't have a die in here. So it's not going to be, you're not going to get a whole lot of pressure, but you need some. So these are acting as somewhat of a shim. And I'm just going to run that back through. It's a little crooked. Just to give it some pressure. Put that off to the side. And now we have our letters. We can pull off of our sheet. Let's try from this side. There we go. And gently release that. And there is our thank. And we'll get this one started. And our U. And then we have this. So that is how you get foil onto your die cuts. Now you can use a bigger die. I have this large one here. That would work too. It's just I didn't want to get my big die cut machine in here, so that's why I chose these little ones. And I have also die cut another set of those because I'm going to glue these on top to give it a little bit more sturdy. This one has 2 layers on it, and then it's shadow, which I have already cut the shadows, done those in black as well. So I'm going to put glue on these, and put these on top. And I'm just going to use my Zig glue pen and put some glue on that. And I'm using my, working on my old craft sheet here, my glass, the glass craft mat, I think. I've had it forever. I think these are, I think that's from Ranger. Alright, so since this is just cardstock back there, going to put that on. I could have used another piece of sticker sheet to glue that on. I like to use the liquid glue, that way if you don't get it lined up perfectly the first time, you can wiggle it around to get it in the correct spot. And another reason why I used the same color, similar color of cardstock as the foil, if you don't get it exactly right the first time, you won't see it a whole lot, as to opposed to like a piece of white cardstock. You would see white if I was off-centered a tad. So let's put glue on this one. Now this one here is real skinny. That part right there is very thin. So I'm going to try to get as much glue on there that I can to make sure that attaches well. All right. And now we can take this one. Line it up. Make sure it's centered on there pretty good. I'm just going to put that one under that as well. All right, so for the card, this is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch A2 size card base. I cut the pattern paper down to 4 inches by 5 1/4, and same with this inside panel. And I had a little strip when I cut this piece. I had a little strip left, so I just put it inside. Both of these, and the same with this one, I already have all this glued down to save a little bit of time. This one I put the strip going that way. And these papers are from a really pretty paper pad I got on clearance at Joann Fabrics a month ago or so. Some of these already have foil on them and some of them don't, but I thought it was so pretty. So I used those. Both of these are from that same paper pad. This one does have a few of the hearts are like rose gold foiled, while this one is not foiled at all, but I think it matches that pretty well. So I've already attached that, got that ready to go. I put obviously the white in there. You can stamp, you can write your own message, whatever it is that you prefer. So now let's take these and we can attach them to the shadow. These are the shadows for the sentiment. And I'm going to put glue on the back of those. And there are so many colors of foil out there. I don't have a whole lot, but I do have some of these that are like this pink that's faceted, I guess you would say, instead of just a plain color. I think they're pretty. All right, so let's get that centered and straight on our shadow. That looks good. Some weight on that. And glue on this one. I do have a Gina K Fuse hot foil machine. I did purchase one of those. She had an introductory, I guess, price on them when they first come out. I did used to try to use a laminator, and the cheapo laminator that I have just wasn't working right. So I do have the hot foil machine, but it took me a long time to buy one. I held off for years buying a good laminator, or now Pink and Main has their own laminator, big 12-inch one, but I didn't use it, or I didn't buy one for a while. But now I have one, and I just wanted to share a video if you don't have one, because like me, I didn't have one for many, many years. All right, I can get my bigger glue. Get my bigger glue out. And I'm not going to add anything else to these cards. I am not going to put any other die cuts, any other embellishments. The papers and the foiled sentiments are a good enough embellishment for these cards. So that's another good thing, that you don't need a whole lot. Now, you most definitely can. If you want to add something else to it, go right ahead. I think these are a pretty simple, anybody can do. All you need is the foil and some adhesive sheets. If you don't have a die cut machine, and just have punches, you can use any punched shape. Doesn't have to be a sentiment. Some adhesive there. And that looks good like that. You could put weight back on there. And this foil is not going to rub off. Even though it's attached with adhesive and not heat. I mean, it's not going to come off. It's not quite of a smooth finish as the laminator or the fuse, but you still get, I think, sparkly, stunning results of your foil. So pretty. Yeah, so that's all that you need to do to make yourself some sparkling foiled sentiments. I hope you give it a try. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.